And in this episode of What Can I Grow from the Grocery Store, we're taking on an all-time favorite, celery. Lots of school kids have grown celery from stalks over the years, so let's see if we can keep up with the school kids. It's pretty simple. You basically just buy a bunch of celery, cut off the garbage part that you're going to eat, use that for whatever you want it for, put a few toothpicks in the rest to hold it up, put it in some water, and wait forever. We'll see how it turns out. Now let's take a look at our celery. There's one that was planted, the stalks were cut off near the base. You see it's kind of drooping a little bit. That's pretty much normal for these things. The leaves are starting to spread out because it's got daylight coming down on it. The other one that the leaves were all pulled, or the stalks were pulled apart, it's starting to do the same thing. You can see it's kind of leaning over a little bit. And this guy down here where we just chopped it off. Now if you use your imagination, you can see that there's a little bit starting to pop out of the center. And that's normal too. That's actually the best way to tell that it's starting to grow until you start seeing some roots. No roots, by the way. But they're looking good. There's some celery. I'm not sure, is that a root coming out already? Possibly. Probably pretty soon, too soon though. And let's see now, that guy. Oh, that's looking good. You don't have to use any imagination now. Still no roots. And that one back there is happy also. Oh, I still don't see any roots back there either. But we are getting there. We're getting there. There's all three of them. Seems to be happy. And that one appears to be happy. Over here, this one is definitely happy. Looks like a little tiny Christmas tree. And this one back here is running low on water. It's drooping a little bit. So I gotta get some more water in that one. However, that one has a root. And I don't see any signs of roots on the bottom yet, but there is definitely one coming out of that side. Right there. This guy here, starting to grow some roots around the edges. And I still don't see anything on the bottom. Possibly a few little white specks starting up in the sliced area. Might be some roots starting to form there. And this guy here, let's see what we got. I don't see any real signs of roots yet, but it seems to be happy, so we let her keep growing. There's a stalk of celery, a couple of tiny little roots it looks like trying to form. I'm not totally convinced that those are roots yet. It is still alive, it still seems to be healthy. Second one definitely has some roots forming right underneath that one toothpick. They're not real white yet, but they definitely are forming. Oh, and there's another little branch starting to pop up out of the middle. And then we have number 3 over here, and there can be no question that that's a root. It's a root. It's getting bigger and bigger. Plant itself is doing okay, but it has got at least one root on it. Take a look at celery. There's the one that I cut the stalks away most of the way but left the leaves going. It's about 8 inches tall right now. There's one I chopped through the base and it's growing its own leaves. There's the one that I pulled the stalks away and left it growing. And just as a status report, that's a root. That is a root coming out of the X or the V or the groove or whatever it is that I cut in the bottom. That's a root. Over here on this guy, there's some roots. Again, coming out of where I cut it on the bottom, and I can see some other little nubs starting up there. That's going to have a bunch of roots pretty soon. And this guy over here, well, we see the one root. Can't miss that one. So far, I'm not seeing any more. Hey, that's interesting. They're splitting up the middle. We'll see what that does. But that one root is feeding it. So far, it seems to be pretty happy. All three of them seem to be pretty happy. Another year or so, I might actually have some more celery. I'm not going to disturb them today, but there's a root over there. It's coming out pretty good. There's some roots coming out on the second one there. And of course, there's that huge root on the third one. They're all doing good. They seem to be happy. We're just watching roots grow now. What can I say? They're happy. They're growing roots. That one's growing roots. That one's growing roots. I'm not going to pull them out of the water anymore. Don't want to upset them too much. But they do appear to be happy. So this is Saturday, May 20th. They're doing good. Today's garlic episode, there's some celery. There's some celery roots. This guy here is going to have to go in dirt pretty soon. That one's got a lot of roots. This one, it's close, but I'm going to give it a few more days. That one I also want to give a few more days. But I might just put this one in dirt. I'll try to get it on film if I do. I talked myself into it. As you can see, tiny little thing. Dug a hole in the bottom that you can't really see. I peeled some of the rotting pieces off of this one celery. This is the one that I had cut off completely. Got plenty of roots growing from all over underneath it. Took the toothpicks out. I'm going to carefully put it down into the dirt and brush a little bit of dirt in around it. I'm not packing it or anything like that. And the next step is going to be to add some water. Now remember, these guys have been living in water, so they're going to expect to have a lot of water available for a while. I'm going to keep this guy in under the lights for a while. I don't want to shock him by moving him outside right now. Now I'm going to take the water he's been living in and pour it in around him. And put a tray back up here and put him up there. So that's going to be his new home. The other two I'm going to keep in the water trays for a while. Let him get a few more roots. But that guy is now in dirt. We shall see what happens. And I hope I didn't just kill him. I think this is the 25th of May, 2017. Thursday, if I remember right, though it's Friday for me because I ain't going to work tomorrow. Making a long Memorial Day weekend. There's our first celery still in the water. Got lots of roots growing back there. There's our second one. It's growing not quite so many roots, but looks pretty favorable anyway. And the third one still hasn't died. I guess I didn't kill it when I put it in dirt. Seems to be happy. I think I'm going to go ahead and put these other two in dirt this weekend. I'll continue on with the videos from there. I'm noticing something interesting. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see that, but can you see that one little stalk right there? I've never seen anything like that on celery. It's almost looking like a flowering head already. I'm not sure what's going to happen there. I don't believe the others have got that. Not that I can see, but then again, these eyes are getting old. Maybe I can't, just can't see it. All three celeries seem to be doing good. That is definitely looking like a seed head popping up there. That one looks like it's got some seeds on top too. But that one back there doesn't. I'm not sure what's going on here. Never seen seeds on celery, so we'll see what develops. Celery update. We are outside. It's hot. There's our seed stalk. It's kind of wilting over a little bit because it's hot. That one's still growing seeds. I'm gonna have to figure out how to save celery seeds pretty soon. This is the other one. This is one I cut off flat. Notice it's got some little buddies growing down at the bottom. Interesting. That one is not going to seed. Then I have one back here I planted a couple months ago that still growing, not going to seed. Seems to be doing well. That's a weed. Ignore the weed. Get rid of the weed. There's my celery update for today. Okay, I was putting together the series of videos on celery yesterday and I realized I didn't have a good ending. So figured I better make one. What you're looking at there is the original celery that I cut off even at the top, at the base actually. It then grew out of the center and turned into that. Still have my original back there, looking a little bit sparse because it was over 90 degrees again today. You notice nothing else around. The other two celeries that I had planted with this one, the two that started going to seed, basically they tried to go to seed. They didn't really make it. The heat started getting to them and both of them died. So I didn't get any seeds out of them and I don't have them here to grow now. But I do have 2 bundles of celery that I'm working on. 6-8 months I might actually get some celery. We shall see. Probably have to put both of those either in the ground or in smaller pots here pretty soon. But this is going to serve as my final for the celery videos, at least until I do a harvest video. Thanks for watching.